on the angle, playing with 3 as well. Mars retreats back up to the warehouse, and the Falcons have been marching
to the shed. That's going to give them a great foothold within this chaotic compound area. Meanwhile, for Kinnetrope, they are in dire straits. Already got one player very weak and down. You've got 2 more who's also got a team pushing up onto your location. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. The only thing you can do is hit the dirt. Regnum Karya, you mentioned them underperforming. Well, look at them now. Top 8, also all 4 players alive and pushing the issue on the remaining players at Kinnetrope.
Silas lands an aid right on their heads there. Now with 1 player left standing, they are going to try and take down Kinnetrope entirely. Ooh, nearly getting that full knock, but Silas has to disengage. He is going to have to fall back to the rest of his team. 1 nade left, and you want to be a little bit later.
Without a doubt, but they also have a drop with a couple of shots. It's going to be tough to take down R8. Obviously, Falcons keep them at bay. You still got Yangon Galactica going to be just behind you. And for Fireflux, Matt Cap, I believe, is down and out, and that will be the end of Fire. In second place, they will continue to stay within top 8. Now, for Nogsham Red Force, 1 player remains. That's going to be Doc, who heroically stayed alive on the 2nd floor building of where he currently is. Now, for Falcons, are they potentially making a push? Are they making a rotation? Well, no, they've got to park the bus because R8 continues to punish them.
They try and get up towards the hay bale, but the cover is in there. Damar has been tearing them to pieces. Chunks of Falcon flying left and right as he's blasting them away here. And it's just unfriendly atmospheres out on the northwestern side. There's more to do. Marth's going to have a go. Have a crack, and now it's just the 1 player. No, it's the no players as Falcons fall flat on their rotate up towards the north.
Which is so disappointing. Falcons were on fire. The way they were pushing teams was excellent, and they didn't want to fully commit for this compound play. It's the edge, but there's just no coverage. Guys on Regnum Karya who have to push through an open space. Smoke so valuable in the moment. Now it's just a mad dash forward. The question is, can they even make any headway? R8, Yangon Galactica's Doc from Nogsham Red Force is going to be looking straight at him.
Immediately covering this field in smoke. Stage 8 circle closes dead center, and that will put us on the north side of this compound. None of these teams currently have position there, so if Regnum Karya you can get up to the wall successfully. You're going to have a great shot here, but they've got the wraparound. Damar on the wall looks to try and hold his nerve, but he's already taken down in a second as well. A blast on the sidelines here for R8, and they will be torn apart. Regnum Karya with their clean roll-up and give themselves a chance for 12 elims and more into this circle. 4 elims remain, could be a 26-point game.
Absolute insanity. Regnum Karya looking so incredibly strong, down to our top 3. Duck from Nogsham Red Force to Solo, who has stayed alive as long as possibly can, looking to play spoiler to the chances of Regnum Karya, potentially Yangon Galacticos 4 and 3, both respectively alive for those very rosters. Doc, though, give him credit, man. Staying alive is just massive in this moment. The question is, who wants to make the first move? I don't know just yet, but with the way that Regnum Karya just pushed into R8, I've got to favor him.
I'm thinking about Regnum Karya and their position and thinking perhaps they want to try and take the wall side of this compound. You could potentially be there. It's fairly nadeable, which makes it a little bit dangerous depending on what sort of utility Yangon Galacticos are going to be working with. But having that angle that controls the open courtyard to the north side of this Yangon Galacticos building would be absolutely huge. But for now, Regnum Karya going to allow themselves a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room, get those, which means that they're probably wary as to where that off angle could be.
I like where Wild is currently at. He's going to be protecting the back side, allowing his teammates to just focus on what's in front of them. You do not want to get flanked, and there is a potential, right? Yangon Galactic, the player down to Wild is currently at would basically spell the though. I think Doc is a solo. I really
off. Silas opening the building. I don't think you want to step in there just yet. Doc now getting pressure put on him. Yangon Galacticos. No, he's there. Know that this fight happened earlier, and they will take care of him. So no more annoyances from the side. But Yangon Galactic to the north side, up and to that wall position. The nade over towards Silas drops short from Smile, and everybody's cooking them. How much more have they got left in the back pocket? Loxy with a long lob, doesn't quite connect. And another one sent over towards Silas, sees the numbers even. 3 versus 3. Wild Force next.
All right, Regnum Karia now with the 3 versus 3, as you said. Say Cloud Smile, nades are cooking. They're throwing, but are they connecting? Well, not just yet. Just managed to make it happen and take the win. Regnum Karia, a heroic effort, a wonderful game, but at the end, that was the ending, man. Well done, dude. I think today the games we have been phenomenal. Regnum Karia, the champion, or excuse me, Yangon Galacticos, the champions with 9 elims, huge.
A brilliant result for them in the end. And Yangon Galacticos, yeah, the 2P to see that one close it down. That position that Doc held in the end, okay, a little bit more aura farming coming through from Yangon Galacticos, hitting them with the boat dance. But you know what? In the end, it felt like Regnum Karia maybe gave a little bit too much leeway to Yangon Galacticos. They played towards the back of the compound for a long time, right? They could have potentially taken control, got a little bit further forwards. The circle closed a little bit further south than I thought it would, so it could have been a little bit more of a decision maker there, but I think getting rid of Doc was brilliant from Yangon Galacticos. Regnum Karia allowed them to transverse, though, across that compound. They could have done more. 12 elims in a second place, however.
Yeah.
That's going to put you up on, 18 points on the match, and that's a great result.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially since we talked about their struggles. So a game like this, very much needed. Puts them closer to that potential theoretical 70-point threshold. Regnum Karia looking so very strong. There it is. Game number 4 is done. We go to a break. When we come back, Game 5 Miramar coming your way.
Featuring Lenovo Legion.
All right, team, we're transitioning to Flak, but tasks are still going to be on Bullfrog.
Did nobody see my poppycock post? There was no clappy claps on it.
Make sure you track your time on Fireplace. Then ping me on SmackDog.
Guys, we don't need any of those anymore. We have ClickUp.
Where do we chat?
ClickUp.
What about managing projects?
ClickUp.
Docs.
Also ClickUp.
AI.
It's all ClickUp.
Yeah, but how do we get Adam's dog to stop peeing in the office?
Not really sure about that one, but for everything else, we have ClickUp.
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy Series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tube Glider, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze it. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period July 10th.
Bir canı bunda.
Tamam.
Bekle oğlum, beni bekle. Bekliyorum. Basıyor, can basıyor mu?
Ya basmıyor.
بيجيب الزون
بفيدا
بيجيب الزون ها
انا بهدي ما بيك
عالرايقين خلي موت زون
انا ما بيك انا
ايوه خلي موت زون ولا
نايس يا نايس يلا
اشرنا حجي كلنا هناك
Yangon goes absolutely celestial here from Galacticos as they have brought the big bang at the very end and getting themselves the win here at the PMWC, at the EWC. Of course, brilliant win from them coming in for the last Erangel of the day. I've got 7 as well as Nepture to talk about this one. It's absolutely intergalactic coming in from Yangon. Just space puns.
Yeah, space puns. We gotta hold space for that one for a second. Yeah, very nicely done. No, but I think they're very good. I know that's lame. Stop it. Don't laugh at me. What I'm trying to say is
teams are very good.
No, they're all very good.
10 out of 10.
But aren't they all very good with those nades? Because Regnum were looking very good to actually just overtake and just storm through that compound. And Yangon went, I don't think so. We have nades. We have nades and we have a lot of them. We don't even need our weapons.
It sounds like you right British accent. What's going on? Actually, the more I don't know about that, James. I'm like, stop it! Stop making fun of me. What's going on?
Really not.
It sounds just like you. But Yangon, I was actually really impressed with not only just the nades, the proactiveness that they showed throughout that match. I mean, even if you rewind it earlier on, the push that they did on non-ship Red Force, that was the impressive far. Then being able to now control that, making sure that the last player for Nongshim Red Force backed up. It was 19 points for that team. And Regnum Karya, the way this team was playing Neptura, just towards the nose, sweeping everything, getting all those eliminations too.
I really loved how they played this. A 1-3 split through the field, just trying to hedge all their bets against the other teams in the field. And then we were talking about the smoke road that they were doing, that blockade of smokes, not telling any team where they're going at any one time. They were like, we're not going to hint at anything. You have no idea where we're going next. And it worked very well for them.
Definitely, as all these teams are getting ready to get into Miramar now as well, but we've got more to talk about, of course. That compound, that farm compound, Nongshim Red Force, of course, technically early on has the lockdown on this compound, but it's a case of, do you have it too early? Because for me, 7, it felt like the rest of the lobby knew exactly how to dismantle them.
I agree with you, but I feel like that team just fell asleep in a way because they got an R8 being able to be the first team that pushed them, right? And then they kind of gave away that warehouse. After that, the team was just super passive. They created pretty much a nice little push, and that's when Young Galacticos just took full care of it. Like, you need to see that proactiveness, and I was actually hoping that Regnum Karya ended up winning this match because they were being so proactive. Just with the sweeping, as you mentioned, the smokes that they put out as well, but the reaction of Yangon Galacticos there towards the end, making sure they swept around as well, got all the nades ready, got all the knocks, is what got them the win.
Right, Yangon making that initial push. I have so much to say about that because Nongshim really fumbled there, right? You had R8 with that one solo. Damar coming in. Damar comes in and goes, they push in. Yangon go, oh, they've given them all that space. Well, we might as well sandwich them while we're at it. And Nongshim actually told the entire lobby, all the teams around them, that actually we're in a weak position, we're a weak team. We're a tiny little thing of Binny just moving back slightly. There wasn't this strong push over towards Damar and shut that down immediately. If they had done that, they would have won the game, I think, because it's just nobody would have touched them after that.
Let's take a look at head-to-head here then, brought to you by the Saudi National Bank. As Team Falcons in number 1 and Yangon Galacticos, a very important win for them, will move them up into 8th place here, 7, as Yangon was able to wrestle away the compound from everybody else and go,
What, how did they go?
Yeah.
But it's an impressive play. I want to see Falcons continue doing what they've been doing, because in that last game, it felt like they were maybe going to go for the winning play. It felt like they were maybe going to be the team that was actually going to end up doing what Regnum Karya ended up doing. That wasn't the case, and you know what? Let's talk about this overall before I continue on, because Team Falcons with those 42 points and somewhat of a healthy gap there to 8th place.
Somewhat of a healthy gap, yes. A very important start to the day for Team Falcons. Fireflux obviously really yielding great results. There is one name here slightly omitted from our top 8 that really springs to mind, that really isn't, that really should be in our top 8. Alpha 7, Neptura, still not here. I will say, from my perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to know your expert opinion on this, they still look like they're not very decisive about their choices, still finding themselves on edge plays and not really being able to work it out there. What do you think?
It's wild to me because it's almost like they don't know the lobby. I mean, these are teams and players that they have played against for years. And yet they're here like they're the new kid on the block going, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't want to tread on any toes. Sorry, you're over there. My bad. It's like, you're Alpha 7. You won last year. What are you doing?
It's the decision making. The decision making is not there. We saw it earlier in Sandhog. We've been seeing it throughout. I mean, even in group stages too. Yeah. It's just not there.
It's tough. It is tough. Before we actually get into the next game, of course, we have the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, and it's now live, of course, this weekend from August 1st to the 3rd. Log in, summon surprise airdrops, and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. There's more to go. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, jump in to the game now for your vote on your favorite airdrop partner as well. You might even score yourself some awesome surprises and gifts from them else. We also have plenty of unboxing going on here. I know Maxman's deep in the unboxing right now between games because anyway, of course, it's now time to head over to the commentator.
So there you go, beautiful unboxings leading into the final 2 maps of the day, where we will reach our halfway mark through the survival stages, and our teams will be hoping against hope and hopefully doing a little bit more than that as well to take themselves into the finals. 8 slots are there. At the moment, as the desk highlighted towards the end, the indecisive, timorous Alpha 7, Uncharacterized and Miramar kind of is their map to do it.
That's right. Miramar is a phenomenal map when it comes to the Alpha 7 roster. They have performed well on Miramar throughout all of Americas, and I expect them to do it just here. And I've seen them pull off literally 21 elimination games on this very map. And, well, this would be the time that they needed. If they get a 21 elimination game plus the win, that could very well put them well up into first place, very near to qualifying. Speaking of which, Fireflux, Team Falcons, Noxium Red Force, Power Esports, all knocking on the door of that 70-point threshold as it currently stands. Let's even throw in Regnum Karya and E Arena too. Yangon Galacticos, by the way, struggling early on, but that last win put them up in top 8, knocking Alpha 7 down, which is huge. Let's see if they can carry that momentum on the Miramar.
I mean, when you're looking at getting 70 points over the 12 matches, you're looking at maybe having 4 big games under your belt where you're starting to stretch into the teens and then keeping your lower games consistent. And that can be sort of healthy to sit, right? You're getting up above 50 points on your good games, on your 4 big games, and then in your 8 small games, you're looking to put the rest. So about 20 points up on those games, which in general is going to be very doable for those teams towards the games. The question is consistency, keeping those lower scoring matches under the belt nice and consistent. That is what I'm looking for. You could, of course, just, if you're Falcons, just put up a big 30-point game, 28-point game and get there already. It's just that easy. So I think they should do that, actually.
Well, talking about Falcons, that's a great narrative because look at where they land. Right next to Alpha 7, 2 giants. Of course, for the home crowd, man, that's going to be a spicy one to say the least. And well, for Falcons, they're very comfortable and happy where they currently are. For Alpha 7, they are not. This might be the opening fight Alpha 7 needs to gain some confidence.
It's all on Koa as well. I think it was Narvalo, if I'm not mistaken, who didn't have a weapon in this scenario. Okay, he's managed to find himself something. Revo with the pump action around the corner. A Death Dealer. Nice. Without the armor to assuage any of the damage, Chloa gets caught and immediately flushed as well. Carrillo with the nade and the Winchester in tow. Navallo with the UMP and the M4, so he's got the ordnance to be able to do it. A sneaky little dash out the sidelines, hops wide, and takes care of one, maybe turning on for a second. The rest of the team are there. Navallo hits a mad drop shot to keep the Falcons in this one.
And he's going for the third. The third is right in front of him. The squash catches the backpack, but doesn't connect the shots. Narvalo forced to reposition, pulling off a heroic effort. Now you got Redox, who's also pushing in to assist. This would be a tremendous collapse from the Alpha 7 roster, but Squash manages to drop Narvalo, but not in enough time. Redox hits the final shot. Revo will fall, and therefore Alpha 7 will be the first team eliminated.
A massive drop shot coming through from Narvalo. A huge result for them. Keep the Falcons in as 3, keep them to a top spot, and that's how you kick things off here. And Alpha 7, they're not making the front page off of this match. That is guaranteed. A second drop, hot drop did happen in the meantime. It was over in Picado, and Rectum Kaya suffering heavily losses towards Power.
Yeah, that's tough. 2 big teams taking some heavy losses, but Falcons getting that win. Narvalo flipping the script is tremendous. Falcons should have been dead at that moment. Alpha 7 should have been leading with the squad wipe, but instead, Narvalo flips the script with the 3-piece, and that's why they are the home team.
They have got a lot of strength to them. They lose one player, sure, But I mean, it was all on Narvalo, right? You can't take it away from the guy. We do criticize him sometimes. You know, he is French, and that speaks for itself.
Your words, not mine.
But he's absolutely nailed that, to be fair. I could not imagine a better result coming through. That dash through the corridor caught Alpha 7 completely unawares. In that moment, they had their heads spun, and they just weren't able to get dizzy enough in time to be able to pull that one back together. It was absolutely insane. And just as we talked about Alpha 7 being strong on Miramar as well.
It's ironic in the caster comes full edge, full six, but getting out of that is essential. He doesn't, I firmly believe, wins that fight. Narvalo doesn't pick up that many elims, but just tremendous. We obviously look at power in this moment, a replay, seeing what happened to Regnum Karya at the very beginning. El Hadji getting active, taking one down in conjunction with his teammates, of course, and Regnum Karya being put into the blender. Some extra shots, power filling themselves today, and rightly so. You look at their group play to their survival stage play, night and day difference.
Absolutely. I mean, that for Regnum Karya, that felt like what should have happened to the Falcons, right? In that scenario, it is the exact scenario that you imagine. Regnum Karya, they lose a player and they all go, "Oh, I'm hiding. Maybe I get a trade." Not Narvalo, and he's able to pull that one back. And we banged on enough about him, but it was pretty poggers, as they used to say.
All right,
that's a historic.
Now you get wild.
That's an old reference. That's an old reference. That one now.
That is an old reference, indeed. That is a fossil. But I mean, honestly, we talked about it. Last thing I'll say, that could very well be the play of the day, without question. The play of really,
the Falcons are doing well today, man.
Without a doubt. Falcons have flipped the script, and it's so great to see that. I spoke with Peck, right, the coach of Team Falcons, and we still feel comfortable. If we survival stage, we're okay with that. Naturally, they don't want to, and they didn't want to. They wanted to go from group play straight into Smash Point format, but it is what it is. They go to survival stage to make the most of it, and they are clearly doing the best they possibly can. And, well, for this roster, too, on your screen, Noxum Red Force been so very happy with their day 2 group plays. Could they keep up that energy? Well, they absolutely have. Loxy, last alive. We obviously saw what happened to Regnum Karya just a little bit earlier. Loxy will continue to fight out in the desert as hard as he possibly can.
Just a solo, though. A lone ranger in the Wild West. Let's hope he can keep things together. But he's got basically nothing as well, right? This is the downside. He had to evacuate Picardo on the double, and he just didn't have time to really get anything on board. No meds, no utility, limited armor, ammos, that sort of thing. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Regnum Karya going down in the next few minutes. Especially with teams moving so central as it stands to the east side of Monte Nuevo, out over towards Picardo as well. A lot of teams have started to conglomerate. We'll see if that is going to have an impact on Loxy's survival stakes.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cooked at the moment, but you know what? Loxy's still up. We've seen solo players make an impact, but the rest of the story has to be on the remaining full-fledged rosters. Plenty of teams with 4 and 3 themselves. The Arena, who's had a standout day, top 6, well on their way into potentially Chumacera, maybe over towards where Kinotrope is currently at. Still plenty of real estate within this stage, within the zone. No reason to get too antsy at the moment. I do focus my attention, though, towards Vision, Influence Rage, Aura, Intense Game. Area up towards the top is starting to get quite contested.
It is getting chock-a-block right now on the northwest side of Picardo, up towards those hills and power grid. Not really too much breathing room here. And it is teams like Vision that need to get a go right now. Next circle just coming on through in a moment. Looking at the teams around the edge, you've got AXTMG trying to push in from Graveyard, R8 sweeping north, Gamax leaving from Los Leones. Not too many teams actually have to move because of this.
Yep.
I'm going to be interested to see how the Falcons get in here because they're right next to Oro, where it seems like Narvalo's going to scout out their approach on the north edge of Monte Nuevo.
Narvalo, the hero, the reason why Falcons are still currently playing. Gang on Galacticus opposite of Kinatrope, putting out some damage, actually some great damage. We go back to the initial start, and you notice Alpha 7 are clearing out Team Falcons until Narvalo clears the hallway, drop shot for the second, and then picks up the last remaining member in the corner of Squash. Soft, seeing emotion really pieces it all. You can see how much that meant. Falcons.
My God, just the weight of the sheer brass bollocks on that player to hit that drop shot.
Absolutely.
It is unbelievable. And Ralph, very proud. You saw there that Ralph was absolutely thrilled with the result of that one. So a brilliant play coming through from them, and they're probably still going to be feeling themselves as they carry on with 3. E-Arena, though, with a challenge of their own now to deal with. It is Influence Rage trying to keep things under control, but they've only got 2 players on the side for Influence Rage, and there's a third party off to the north from Vision.
One of our battles for center zone control. And you mentioned that third party power is going to take a Mormon. Diego starts to answer through the window, snips it out. The arena, we'll see you later. Influence Rage took some damage. They lose 2 players, but good for staying up. Party up the distance. The thing, Influence Rage, they are quite literally dead center, despite not having the manage and multiply. There's no room to move. Team Vision, same scenario. They're not going anywhere. And once Diego and Level, if they do have to hardcover POI alone, any of the members from Vision, they're going to be ready.
Vision on this high ground with suppressive shots out a lot of different directions here. It is a question of extracting value. Can you take to the mines and bring up some gems, or are you just going to be taken down with a big split, a lot of open area around you, maybe not managing that threat correctly? With only 2 points so far today, it seems like they haven't really got the wherewithal to hold a split like this. If you're going by the results that they've seen so far, as teams start to push in, their mettle will be tested, and we'll see if they can weather the storm.
Benny's been in the dirt for quite some time, hanging out, scouting. Team just up ahead. You also have Loxy for you too. This hilltop, quite heading very slowly, but once he springs it, Vision very well could lose a player, maybe even 2. A bit of a shift, much Influence, Rage, Power, Vision. They're still going to be chilling where they currently are at, and spot that teams want to lock in. And well, you mentioned Team Falcons earlier, rotating out from the outside, coming in. They are quickly moving in, and Influence Rage has started to fire some shots on Team Falcons.
I think Falcons have just lost 1 on the approach there. You can see they're now on 2 players. They tried to crash in towards Power. It's not going well. Right now, Power's split is bold, but it's working. They have got that western point held down and easy all the way out to the eastern side with 4 players alive. It looks like they are going to go for that regroup, so they aren't going to try and get too bold with it there. They've extracted the value from the corner compound, and they're just going to retreat off it. I think that's sensible, and they are going to be able to make out like bandits with 5 elims, and now a position on the east in a very central location.
Very much indeed. Team Power looking so strong. Team Falcons taking the shack. I never liked this spot. John, I'm not a favorite guy for the shack, man. His spot is rough. I call it the Dev Shack. IG is going to keep them in check, but that's where the Falcons decide to stay. As far as I'm concerned, any point Falcons get from this moment is a miracle. Every single point Falcons is able to accumulate is simply due to Narvalo. So we'll take the victories. We'll take the W's where we can get them. But for IG, hanging out at the moment. Horta, though, curious what they do from the outside looking in, because you got No Fear and co, who's going to be on the advanced position. And, well, they can simply push up into Falcons IG a little bit later on. For Yangon Galacticus, the winners, though, of our last game, Kinatrope keeping them back, forcing Yangon Galacticus to go all the way into Papa Blue and reposition.
God, that's a throwback, Papa Blue. Okay.
I'll bring it back, baby.
Oh, dear. Uh-oh. Yango for this one onto the south side, and Romeo dips back in. It's only stage 3. We are going to see them sent on in. Maybe scouting towards Kinatrope here, who are rotating out to the southeast side, but not getting too bold with it. I like that. He's heard a couple of those shots coming through. He'll know that there's a player now up in the distance. They can draw a little short, take a couple of shots. The rest of Kinatrope looking to respond here, and they'll be aware now of a presence to their south side on their flank. Fortunately, not many other teams are going to put pressure on towards Kinatrope, so they can take the time to deal with this.
Smile swings it quite wide. Kinatrope keenly aware of Yangon Galactica's position and where they are rotating to. Bit of a pause on that fight. I think both of them, instead of engaging each other, going to be easy, so they wait for the next stage to pop. They might have an advantage here. They will. They should be able to take over. The hardcover POIs just on the edge of where the current stage is at, or maybe they could just go ahead and go a little bit deeper. But for them now, having that hardcover POI gatekeeping Kinatrope could be huge. And for SayCloud, I think he's setting the trap.
I mean, he's close enough to take these shots. He's close enough to take this fight. The question is back up, and the question is what pace the Kinatrope take towards it. Falcons under pressure now. Their two players alive, but for how much longer? Narvalo knocked. R8 want to try and circle in. Ralph now the last to stand. 9 rounds in the chamber. None of them connect. Nice little dose side from R8, and that is the Falcons out of the running. They get 4 points on the match. They'll be okay with that. 46 points, not a terrible way to end match 5.
Well, for the second game in a row, R8 will take down Team Falcons. They did it just on Erangel, map 4. They do it again here on map 5, albeit again, Team Falcons staying alive as long as they did, pulling out the heroic fight against Alpha 7. We'll give them their flowers despite the early exit. Falcons did exactly what they needed to do. For SayCloud, he split from his team. Yangon Galacticus has sent their other 3 away, relatively split up. SayCloud said, I'm staying back. I want to try and attack Kinatrope if I possibly can, but I believe Final is keenly aware that there is a straggler of SayCloud in the distance, but that still hasn't unfolded just yet, but I'm sure it's going to happen eventually.
On the west side, 4 players alive, mounting up now. Make a decision, make your call, and let's go for it. Waiting for teammates to heal up a little from across the way. The rotate continues. They're heading straight on in towards the circle here from the way, and they're just going to pull short up on the road. So a small rotate here. They're playing it in dribs and drabs.
Kinatrope has finally started to move. Yangon Galacticus says our trap didn't work. We'll reposition and live to fight yet another day. But over here, we got Fireflux fighting up against Noxum Red Force. Matt Cap, player that was truly instrumental and deep into the last end zone before. He's down. Now Noxum Red Force have a tremendous advantage, especially with Tizzy with the off angle. The question is with Scarface, he's been spotted, but I believe with that off angle, he might actually hurt Doc and Tizzy quite a bit if they try to rotate into Solus and catch.
Matt Cap actually naded himself in that engagement, which is, look, that's bad, right?
I would say
you don't want to be doing that. That generally ends in disaster. Of a Fireflux losing a player in this compound, they had the numbers advantage. Sure, they maintain it, but it could have been a 2-to-1. Now engagement. Scarface actually sending away. And I at this point, yeah, fair enough. I think this may be smart for Fireflux. Allow Nongshin try and hold face, because third parties, they're going to come at you thick and fast if you get a little bit too spread thin.
Yeah, he's got a great line of sight too. Noxum Red Force, if they do move out of this spot, they should be spotted. Fireflux taking over the shed. That's going to be great for them. Power, most likely going to be the Grim Reapers of everyone in that engagement. Onto Horda, they spot out Kinatrope, fire a couple of shots. Kinatrope quickly as can be, trying to rotate out. They finally make do, but off in a distance, you've got another solo from Kinatrope, who's firing down on Horda, keeping them to the ground. Gamix also up ahead, and Kinatrope has to fight off.
Power's position just keeps getting better and better with these circle shifts. Dead center, control of compounds, hillsides to play around as well. Their out have got none. That northern side, Visions are going to have to leave their high ground position that they've held for so long. And Loxy, who's been solo since that drop, is going to have to do the same. He's dead now, will not be playing on into this one. So from the north side, it's just Vision who have to make their dash. But the western edge is about to get chaotic. There are 4 teams looking to push on in from this location, and Gamex are going to look to stop them all.
What a No Fear taking down the vehicle. That's going to leave one of the member from Kennetrop out in the open. He can't really disengage from this fight. No Fear is keeping his head down, and it's going to be up to, of course, Kennetrop to try and get this player out of it. The van starts to win. Do they hop in for a quick disengagement? They're going to need to. Question is where they go, because Gamex hold the heart for POIs just in front of them. But if they can somehow distance themselves from Horde, they can live on it. I got to be honest with you, I don't like currently at.
The question is, can Gamex do this hold, right? Can they actually make it work? On the 5 matches they played today, 6 points only. The similar story back in the group stages. This is a team that has really struggled in this tournament. Do wonder if they're going to be able to execute this in the same way that I'd have confidence that other teams could. A brilliant spray from Ozzy-san to find the knock over towards Ora, and once again it trenches them down in this ditch. They're going to have a really tough time. They're going to leave Jiggle, see how far they can go. No Fear on foot has to try and march his way on into this one, but it is just a hail of bullets he's met with.
But do they know where he's currently at? Do they know he's going to be on foot? But Ozzy-san really... IG rolls in. Horde might be totally dismantled, and IG does exactly that, and now they can focus their attention on the remaining members. It's going to be up top for Kennetrop. It's all big. Day 3 down. Rafa, what are you going to do in the moment? Anything. Can't even get out. I don't think so. That Kennetrop,
17 tons of death crate area. Everybody's going down. Kennetrop looking to try and stay alive across the road, but they've still got to go a little bit further. Everybody needs to look both ways on this one, and it is just hell for leather as these bullets storm their way on in. No Fear spraying down, but it is Ora, I think, the only team to actually still have a representative alive, but the blue zone's going to push them out, and that is that. On the western edge, nobody makes it out.
Insanity. We lose 3 teams just like that. IG blew that fight wide open, pushing in full send. No one was expecting that. I didn't even catch it until it was going down. I couldn't imagine how Kennetrop and Hora was feeling in that moment. But hey, our Americas region teams are highly aggressive, and that was a great representation of it. IG full send straight in. Well, that clears up quite a few players, and now we focus our attention. Influence Rage Diego from a distance, keeping the pressure on to R8.
Central circle shift pops up for us, and again, over towards Power. They are going to look to keep this farming up on the points now with the 42 that they currently have. They want all that they can get out of this one. Feel themselves nice and safe in towards the rest of the day. They've got 5 elims already on this match, and nobody really stepping their toes anywhere near them. Yangon Galacticos at this stage, I think, is their major threat. From this south side, the approach could be taken control of if they can get rid of AXTMG on 3 players on that south side.
That's up to Romeo to call that out. Hey, Henry, Cyrex is going to be just behind us. Do we want to push the issue and take them down? Gatekeep them if we possibly can. My only concern would be Power dead center, but hey, either way, they've got to deal with one or the other. Maybe even challenge Gamex, only because even though they're in a great spot, we know they are potentially a weaker team. Firing some shots in the location, it might very well be doable. But the question is, I have for you, where does Influence Rage go from this moment, right? They only have a handful of members left. They've been shooting at R8. Clearly, R8 is going to fire at them when they decide to move in. But I think for Influence Rage, there's really nowhere safe to go.
I mean, you're going to have to play terrain at this point, right? They do have a couple of vehicles, and it's not out of the question that they could crash to the shack that sits to the southwest of Vision, north of Power, but that's a dangerous run out, and R8 are definitely going to take shots. Little boy might be going for it, though. He's mounting up, he's moving. In the meantime, Diego trying to keep some shots, keeps the suppressive fire on, but he eats a bullet too many, and he is sent down into the dirt. A forward position, though, found, and Little Boy will be playing that terrain.
Yeah, I think for Influence Rage, they understood, look, R8's going to be an issue. Hopefully we can get it down. If so, it gives us more leeway to rotate in, but it just doesn't happen. You mentioned Yangon Galacticus pushing in to AXTMG. That's exactly what they do for just a little bit, but eventually back away. But the good news is for two players, at least St. Cloud and his duo, they managed to push a little bit deeper towards that airdrop. And now for AXTMG, there's really nowhere they can go that's safe.
Power takes shots out towards Henry. He's down, he's flush. Cyrex now looking to potentially regroup towards Devotee, who's trying to suppress Yangon Galacticos in turn, but will not be able to connect on the spray down. Cyrex up to the roadside now and actually doesn't want to stop there. Gathering momentum, he's going to divert across and play on top of AXTMG's outpost. D team regroups towards him.
Smile drops. Great from a distance. AXT refusing to budge. They may not have the numbers, but they've got the heart and are utilizing it as much as humanly possible. A team that needs to claw their way up. This would be enough, but with 2 more games remaining, this being one of them, they understand what's at stake. They understand what they need to do. Power in such a beautiful spot, still dead center. All eyes on them. But of course, for Lil Boy, 2 players from Gamix up ahead. He lost his duo just a little bit earlier. Full Sin, Panda's out, and Lil Boy is looking to challenge.
Oh, with the pan, you're kidding. Doesn't quite connect, just a little bit to the side. I would have loved that. That would have been beautiful, but no, not to be. Doesn't have any nades. And he has been tagged now by Gamax, who are standing off on the ridgeline. Power know this ridge is here. And they have to push a little bit further. Standing up, just kick straight down time and time again. Are they going to invest more nades? I don't think so. And they're taking shots from Power, who have been in the middle of this circle for the longest time. That's going to continue. And it's Yangon Galacticos with the side swipes.
And Lil Boy's just having the time of his life. Still looking at R8, the Grim Reapers to his duo just a little bit earlier in Diego. For Gamix, that's 2 points in front of you. Lil Boy, I understand you're going for placements points. You're trying to stay alive as long as humanly possible, but make a move.
You hope so. But standing up, I mean, you could see immediately how Romeo would spot Lil Boy as soon as he crawls too far forwards with no nades either. It's just too dangerous here. The Molotov on the tree, Lil Boy's chilling. Gamax are going to get pushed in, but so is Lil Boy.
Yeah, just a tough situation for both, right? For Gamix, for Lil Boy, really know where they could go. And here comes the blue zone starting to engulf Gamix as they just crawl forward. And well, eventually, boys, you just got to go for it. You just got to move. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Surprisingly, Lil Boy, but he's going to focus his attention on first victim underway.
The swivel. Keep them afloat. It looked like the approach was really the only chance of taking Power down, but Vision have actually cleared out the northern side. I thought they'd have a little bit more trouble with it.
RA might be moving straight into him. There's so many line of sight. It's whether it's Power, Yangon Galacticos. Well, it is good. And they also know it's just going to watch. They've been sitting here for the longest time. They're on 8 eliminations. They're going for
but that needs Vision to stay alive. And R8 are really reticent to let that happen. But never alone, steps out, sprayed down. And R8 are chewing through them now. Volt the last to stand for Vision's on the northern edge. Needs to keep himself together. The nade goes up on high towards Prestige, but they split the difference. Will find a knock. No, not quite. And they know it now exactly what tree he's playing behind. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time indeed. Volt needs to hit a miracle nade. It's cooking, it's thrown, but it's been dodged. And Volt still in dire straits. Vision, too much tunnel vision onto Power up ahead. They forgot about R8, even though they had to have known the duo was there, but they didn't respect up ahead. All right, took the opportunity.
You needed that on all 4 pushes. You played
still very, very strong. Gangon Galactica is going to have to fight even harder, especially now with one more dropping off. That leaves them with just 2. For Vision, a slight recovery. The revives are starting to come in. The tree being red is only important against R8. I still feel once they start to apex, that power is going to
nades and how to say clean prestige, but the nades from power are just going to bring on over this red line. That Molotov is beautiful. Might put Galacticos either way, getting into a top 4 off a chicken dinner. But Vision, they're still going, like you said, they managed to find a little bit of recovery, but they are still struggling, it seems, on the northern side with 9 elims.
9 elims, great game nonetheless. You got to give them their flowers where flowers are due. Vision, where do you go? You just got to push forward. You got R8 to your right. Alhaji now starting to get active. Well, Alhaji's down. The power just throw this game away.
Oh, I don't know about that one. It is still a lot of pressure on Vision. They will fall, but now it's a 2 versus 2. Inside the building, Power is going to start to lose pressure very, very quickly. Ragnar needs to find a way out. So does Easy. These walls have now turned into their prison. And the ankle is swept underneath the vehicle there. It's all up to Easy now in a 1 versus 2. All right, look at to turn things around, but the rest can come through. And Alhaji
continue to push forward. They take down Vision, and now they're looking to take the game in sensational fashion. Only 2 more players remain up ahead. Power able to recover just for the meantime. A true 2v2. Easy's moving out. He's taking damage. He's now up close and personal with the team. Power proceed using the bound. Shots needed as Power starts to collapse. It isn't. Yes, it's they take one.
How esports they crumble. That is a great result for R8 to pick up the pace here towards the end of their first day here in the survival stages. But there are still some other good results out of that match. You got Vision starting their journey, seemingly asleep for the first 4 matches. Match number 5, they open their eyes. You've also got to look over towards team.
Well, I mean, I'm even looking at Power in second place.
Was thinking of Power.
Digital. Without a doubt, R8, what a bit can that's to break it down. We're going to it when we come back. The final game, day 1.
to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the esports room July 25th, Cash and Parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can be a lobby, event center, esports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through awards, esports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get it takes place from July 20 group stage esports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8. Predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded.
I rate R8 pretty great at 100% out 8 out of 8 coming from them here. In this game to start Miramar, we have got ourselves a brilliant victory for them here at PMWC. Joining me, we have ourselves Neptura as well as Maxman to talk about this one. And we have got ourselves, finally, an R8 win here, Neptura. Very well done.
It's very nice to see. We wanted to see that in group stage. We didn't really, but there we go. And we finally see it here, and it was a really...
Yeah, visual. Oh, they've been kind of underwhelming this tournament so far. But no, they all get to the podium finish. A very strong position super early on. R8 just sweeping the northern side, and Vision being very opportunistic on that fight versus Fireflux and the side of Nongshim Red Force. So they all deserve to be up here on that podium.
A tough circle and an attempt at gambling for some of these compounds here, but in the end, it pays off for some of the teams like Power, of course, who admittedly they don't get themselves the win overall, Neptura, but they were in this compound for so long. They had the pick of the litter about which compound they wanted to go for, and it seems that they picked right.
13 elimination points is way more than I thought they got. No, but I will say R8 took the win from Power in such a way that to me makes sense, right? Because we've been talking, kind of going back and forth about R8, the momentum they were able to build. They had to get to that position in the first place. They weren't, quote unquote, zone blessed, as a lot of people like to say, right? Whereas Power, yeah, they did get a lot of eliminations, but when it comes to that final push, they just didn't have that momentum to back them up. And so for R8, they were able to overpower Power for that reason, because they had to get so many eliminations and fight so hard to get to that second place.
Look, we're going to say a lot about Mina this game. Did Alpha 7 just get 1 point? Pretty much so.
I am also concerned as we take a look at all these numbers coming in from this game as well. I mean, considering that I think there is a world where they may probably do skirt by survival, but if you're getting 7th or 8th with these kinds of performances for Alpha 7, it is now time to get concerned. With only 12 games here, Max.
Sorry, the way they're playing here, I don't see them taking home the trophy for the second year in a row. Like,
not currently,
they're nowhere near the way they were playing last. And that was with Grelin, who was even supposed to stay at the team. I'm very surprised why they just can't find those entry points in the circle. As you go through a few of these highlights here, and yeah, R8 looking back on stick, getting these ridge controls. Circle finishes like this is all about, do you know where the good ridges and dips are, and if you do, how can you leverage them to try and get the chicken dinner at the end?
It's or near perhaps one of your rotations, because this is where you really get to have that very, very well, or you should. And so for these teams at this level, yes, they are going to know that. So all these little ridges are very, very well known to them.
Agree. But looking at R8 at the end of that match, they're actually able to keep your main fragging duo prestige. Like, they've been around for what, 3+ years now in PUBG, when you look at the side of the Power that had 2 players in Easy and Alhaji today.
It's a very important win, considering I was a little bit concerned about watching some of the moves that they were making on Erangel, but if they can kind of
telling me there's a chance they could make it.
Maybe.
I think the point threshold is going to be a little bit lower than what we had possibly going into the group stage. But at the final point, they do hot drop, normally in Picardo versus Regnum Karya. So if they don't win that, maybe we see a Regnum Karya win. That's something you want to transport, because we had a big hot drop. I want to see that fixed on Ramar.
Well, of course, before we get into our next game, it is now everyone's favorite segment of the day.
Max Man's Grenade of the Day.
And yes, full screen. Oh yes, we're back for Max Man's Grenade of the Day. And today we got 2 nades coming your way. Starting off to the wall next to the side of Regnum. And Yangon also trying to take the engagement here on this final chicken dinner we had earlier on Erangel. But Yangon, they had the nades, they had all the utility in their arsenal, ready to strike at the end to wrap it up. And this nade in particular, here you go, look at the timer, down to the last 2 seconds, chucks it right over onto Silas, and he is gone, right back to the Shadow Realm. That was a game-winning nade, possibly for Yangon Galacticon.
Yeah! What do you think of that, Miss Neptura? Did you enjoy Maxman's growling nade of the day?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, jeez Louise.
Okay, Granny. That was
what that was.
I did.
Was that an attempt at growling?
Possibly.
So stop that right now.
Don't do that again.
No.
Okay, that's just for Max.
We'll leave Max's nade of the day to Max.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
But this now leaves us in a very open spot, right, for our final Miramar day. Take a look at all these players getting ready and good to go. In fact, getting word. Almost ready. Without further ado, I've loved the day. The joy really good here.
That was your best Texas accent I've heard yet.
Hey, man, we're going to be playing some more
PUBG Mobile. I don't know where that's from. That's more like Louisiana way. If you guys want to figure out exactly where that's from, well, you need to head over to the map or our official map feed. Of course, you can check that out on our PUBG Mobile East YouTube channel so you can see where all of our players are at all times, unless they've been eliminated, because then they won't be on the map feed anymore.
That's a fact.
Because they'll be out of the game.
Yes.
So you won't be
High-level
able to see them.
analysis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but what you can do is rewind it. Then you can see them there anyway, even though it won't be live and up to that. You get what I'm trying to say, all right? What I'm trying to say is Maxman has excellent grenades. I don't think I feel like he catches enough flack as it is, so no. Yeah, we'll.
Game 5 was phenomenal for a number of different reasons. It's like I look at R8 taking the win in the fashion that they did, which was incredible. As we got the Botans once again, that thing is just everywhere. But we started it with Falcons getting a tremendous clutch, taking down Alpha 7 early on, which begs the question: another hot drop? I don't know. That might end up happening. And for Alpha 7, they need some confidence for power.
Al-Haji taking a little nap, keeping his eyes nice and fresh, ready to go. Out here in the Riyadh sun, it is very toasty, but our teams need to keep it cool, calm, and collected in towards the final match of the day. Of course, we talked about that bubble earlier on the matches that we've had so far. And we're hoping to see at the end of all 12 matches, so at the end of tomorrow, a 70-point boundary. So today, getting over 35 points is where you want to see yourself sat.
Yeah, but Clara said it best. Like at the moment, there's really there are teams that are shining in specific instances, but at least towards the top, everybody is relatively even, which is going to put even more pressure on those bubble teams going into tomorrow, because I believe there is a slight separation in points anyways, especially when you start getting towards like 6th, 7th, and 8th place, right? So this next game is going to be critical. You always want to end your day on a good foot. So you go into tomorrow's competition knowing, okay, we ended strong. Let's start strong. Tomorrow is just 6 games. That's all you got. And we're going to be sending half of the lobby home. That is a heavy, heavy burden on some of the rosters who are towards the bottom.
Well, let's take to the skies once more. The desert awaits us as we will reach our halfway mark at the survival stages. Once this game concludes, who is going to take the lion's share of the points, or are we going to sprinkle them about like oh so much seasoning on top of an already spicy tournament? The plane path coming on in starts from El Pozo, heads down towards Partona. Our 64 players ready to jump out.
Let's get it going, see how it's going to end up unfolding. El Pozo, I believe, yeah, we had that hot drop, right? Alpha 7 Falcons, do we get the repeat? Very rarely, at least in the Americas region, does Alpha 7 have to change up their landing spot because it didn't have them out. It's only happened in the PMWC Americas all season. And Alpha 7 and Falcons are still relatively close to each other. There is a chance we get a repeat of what we saw in map number 5.
Is Narvalo going to be able to hit those big, bold drop shots again? We'll have to wait and see. Or will it even be necessary? There's always potential that they could split loot El Pozo. Have to wait and see. Picardo as well, remember, there was a hot drop there, and that was with Regnum Karya losing the majority of their players in that scenario. So it looks like they are actually going to be changing quite dramatically here, going for that spread around Picardo instead of trying to drop on the inside.
So going back to in the zone, straight up north, a little bit different from what we saw in the last game. Let's talk a little bit deeper about this Falcons Alpha 7 potential fight, which might be going down for Team Falcons. They've already done their job today. 46 points. I'm happy with that. It's not I'm still happy with the amount of points we got. We're most likely going into the finals competition. Now, for them to challenge Alpha 7, You don't want Alpha 7 going for a back-to-back championship. You now have a chance to shut them down in game number 6 in 10th place. That's a tremendous offer. And if I'm Team Falcons, I want to hunt them down, and I want to take this fight once again to Alpha 7 and try to keep them away from top 8 as much as humanly possible. And we do have Ralph, who's going to be kind of circling around the team of Alpha 7. But in the meantime, it's not unfolding just yet. Power, we saw them early on in the last game. We're seeing them once again.
They are already on the road. We're only 2.5 minutes in, and it seems like teams are already making their way forwards to these next stage positions. They'll be okay. Okay, heading back in towards Picardo. They're currently sat right at the top, nearly up at that 60-point metric, which would be huge to end their day on. In the meantime, Alpha 7, they're out. No hot drop scraps to be seen so far this match, so adjustments have been made.
That's right. I think this is the best course of action. Something Alpha 7 didn't have a chance to do in the last game. Now have a chance to go dead center of the zone. Maybe have a little bit more longevity. Let's not forget, for this A7 roster, they are a wonderful Miramar team. That last game was very unorthodox. It was all up to Narvala, who ended up clutching it out. So Prism towards Horta. Northern side of the zone, still very much dead. A lot of real estate there for anyone to take. But for Alpha 7, how long?
Antithetical to what they've been playing so far. Playing that edge side, playing that sweeper position. But I think they can chill out here for quite a while. These concrete should be fairly decent to hold. We'll see how long they can do so. Vision rotating in from that southwest side as well. Currently 2-2 split. A really quite big split. It's about a kilometer difference between the two outposts. This is on the forward position. 14 Vision. You've got the other two players bringing up the rear behind them, never alone. Playing with the WAF on that vehicle rotate behind them. The scout is good. They're clearing the path.
Petrino holds on tight to what he's got.
That's really bad. That is an uncomfortable pillow, if I do say so myself.
Well, still, a chance to get that out means Petrino can't comfortably go for the finish, nor do I think he's truly concerned about getting the cleanup on the Sleepy. So, might be a 4-man unit quicker than you would assume. The pickup is in, so all good. Sleepy can let that error go. It's like it never happened.
It definitely happened. It's so happened. It's unbelievable. The rest of Intense Game might actually be able to navigate around this one and force the positions for Ora. The benefit of not going for that. The benefit of not going for that flush out is that it draws Aura in, and now they have to commit to this hillside push, so Pedrino can just give ground. I mean, it's smart.
Power was one of our early teams of map number 5 here on Miramar, who started off on fire, had a chance to take the win, falling just short to R8 this time. Maybe one of our first teams to be eliminated dominated. An easy fight for either which roster. I do love the high ground over Tizzy. Power cannot disengage. With Doc starting to fall, do we start to some Red Force unfurling?
Binny will be there for the refrag. That smoke on the door frame is doing a lot of work for Nongshim Red Force. He's playing around it with the shotgun, just going on those gut reactions there. Hitting those flick shots, all important. Has done so much for them. Easy, drops down, out and around the side, and he clocks one on the swivel. A really nice heads-up drop down there for Easy. More to go, though, and Binny on the inside, trying to keep things together for Nongshim Red Force, but Power trying to turn it around, and the pump action again for Binny. Dispensing a hell of large amount of damage for the roster of Nongshim Red Force, and they keep it going. Power done and dusted.
Ooh, and that's tough, isn't it? Going into tomorrow's competition, Power, man, they're going to feel good naturally. Great performance when it comes to the top of the standings. Currently first place, 56, near that 70-point theoretical threshold for top 8. They're very healthy, but going from what should have been a guaranteed win, in my opinion, in map number 5 to being first out in map 6, they're going to final board straight into the next stage.
I'm looking at Regnum Kaya. I'm looking at Fireflux holding down towards these south areas on this map. You've got Fireflux who can control the south edge of Saint Martin, get up into those hills and try and maintain the control. Everybody else on the road. Alpha 7 leading the charge. They leave almost immediately, rightly so. They've heard that fighters away. The Red Force are still a little bit after Bruce, can't take the fight, so you get out of there fast. You're not going to be as challenged here. Across the road they go, and they're looking a lot safer now, and they are into Regnum Kaya territory.
Alpha 7 dead set. Let's see what happens here. Red Force very close. Regnum Kaya also. Start pushes this fight. 7 needs to stay alive. It is critical. Throne Revo is starting to take over the high ground, pushing where Wild is currently around him. It's only going to make him a better player. Squash, free fires, no connections, and the dance will continue.
Casualties on the approach so far. A little bit of damage then towards Mafioso, towards Rep, as Regnum Kaya holding the ground. A lot of damage sent over to Mafioso, and a 1-4 trade on the off angle there. Silence finds a second as well. Looks to put Alpha 7 back down into the dirt. And it's all up for Evo now. And finding the shot for Kaya. All this monument. Toshpik is traded off and is not enough. And Alpha 7
final now in the game last year. Now we focus our attention over towards Team Falcons, a roster that was underperforming throughout the group play survival stage, looking to finish in first.
Alpha 7 really good at Miramar, by the way. 1 point, no points. It's kind of crap, really, isn't it? It is. It's not what you want to see for Alpha 7. And
my concern, though, John, is like they go in Americas and they underperform. They do. Let me take it back. Stage 1 of PMSL Americas, they've overperformed, beating the second team by over more than half. Or more than double if I'm mistaken. Then they go into stage 2. They start to slow down a little bit, second place. Now, still impressive, right? But here at Americas where they should be dominating. And then they go to grand finals and they start off no game. Of course, they did, but just too slow. And, well, they didn't have a game plan. Alpha 7 barely skates into top 3, finishing bottom 3, right, for their region, which they should have dominated. And now they're in the survival stage. The pressure is on, and now they're not even top 8 going into the second day. I'm starting to get a little bit worried.
They're losing pace as well with the rest of the pack moving ahead of them towards that bubble. It's going to be difficult to make it. Nongshim Red Force on the northern side here. We saw that engagement earlier that they had with power. They were able to win it, but the speed of heavy casualties and that cross-aid will try and get something done. Players alive is good. I'm looking at Kinotrope as well on that southwest side with a nice spread out across a lot of ground, but the Falcons are going to look to challenge the south point. They could potentially find a weakness.
And I think the weakness is going to be Plur. Plur off on his own, and this could be Falcons' opportunity to kind of bully him out. Granted, you do have Ozan who's going to be able to fire down low, and he did a great job, by the way, in the last game, right? Ozan was that off angle, just peppering shots at the enemy, starting to roll in. But for Falcons, they are a punishing roster. They see Plur by himself, you better believe they're going to push him.
Yangon Galacticos on the western side, currently taking heavy punishment from Aura to their north, who do still have to rotate themselves, and Vision to their north as well, who do not. And they are going to be able to hold down in this compound. You can see Yangon on the exit from Monte Nuevo. Yangon Galacticos suffering. Aura now looking to mount up, who been dishing out some punishment, but wanting to try and break towards the top side here. In 9th place, Aura looking to move away from Alpha 7 towards E-Arena. But E-Arena themselves going to be crashing on towards this Regnum Kaya position. We've seen them defend one. Can they do it again?
Regnum Kaya looking to take down 2 teams in the same game. And E-Arena, though, got to give them faith because they've done such a great job holding hardcover POI, but it's chaos across the board. Loxy bottom right, of course, Joker, who's going to be bottom left, and then the overhead up top is it's just a mad scramble for positioning, and I believe Regnum Kaya gives respect to E-Arena. They're dipping.
I think this is sensible. You wait for those pushes, you should control these door frames, and you realistically, a lot of the time in that engagement, it would take a lot of confidence.
They were a force to be reckoned with, and they finished with over double-digit elimination. So for Regnum Kaya, I don't think this is going to be the
finding their way closer and closer to these circles, and now they managed to find a team trailing their way in, and they will drag them back. Galacticos down to 2, but Falcons are outside of the circle, and they have danger sent to them from Kinotrope on the southeast, and Yangon Galacticos, even with 2, are still deadly.
That's exactly it. Kinotrope is going to be the X factor in this fight, as far as I'm concerned. You also, but in the meantime, Yangon Galacticos feeling the pressure. Team Falcons noticing where Vision is currently at. For Falcons, in my opinion, I'm sitting included because I'm not too healthy. I'm not too happy with Yangon Galacticos being around us, Vision also being in the area, and Kinotrope also being up top. Falcons could be in trouble before they know it.
Getting a little bit more healthy here. They'll need every advantage they can get. Pushing in the southwest side is treacherous. The terrain nice and bobbly for you as you try and roll on forwards. SayCloud has spotted Redox. Redox unaware of the position, but doesn't quite go down. Will have time now to heal this one up, and SayCloud's position is known. He'll have to reposition and get away from this location before the Falcons descend, before Vision send out their way. But I don't imagine that Vision are going to be super keen to send south at this stage. They're going to be more interested in heading east to regroup. And IG having a tough time of it.
IG, team that's been struggling quite a bit towards the bottom end of the standings, only outdoing that of Gamix. We've noticed IG get overly aggressive at times, disrupting fights. This time they look to take down Aura, and it's not going to be easy. Meanwhile, We transfer over to R8 and Influence Rage, and there's bodies all over the ground.
Every health bar's red on my screen right now. What is going on? It looks like Influence Rage are going to be able to heal up a little bit more effectively than R8 in this location. In fact, it's only Damar who is left standing for them, and he is split from this fight. He's trying to take those shots down and might actually have an impact here, as 3 players from Influence Rage are currently on the deck. And Damar could try and challenge this. He's not really got too much to lose, has to get out of here anyway. A front flip on the buggy. He's dismounted from it, but he stays alive. We'll get it back into control. But all this time, Influence Rage have been healing, have been regrouping. Hang on a minute. No, they haven't.
He took down Low Boy. He took down Low Boy from a distance. Now Damar knows I've got to capitalize off this. He pushes straight in. He's a solo. He's going for gold. But can he pull off a miracle play? Well, at least so far, yes, he can. He re-rotates over to potentially take a low ball, but now he's going to take their Lordson, who pushes over the top. Damar looking to make a heroic play, but gets silenced finally from a distance. He's taken down as Fireflux says enough is enough.
During all of that as well, Kinotrope sent a big node over towards the Falcons that has torn them in half. They are suffering now, and it looks like they're being handled nicely. Out on the side, Redox the last to stand for them, and he in short order. A well-placed nade stops tracks going down with minimal points on this match, but their day is pretty successful so far. They have managed to turn up where they haven't before, and will be happy moving into day 2.
It's not the biggest surprise, though. Falcons were so embroiled in this fight against Yangon Galacticos. Meanwhile, Vision was also laying down shots down range. The Kinotrope just had too much power positions. Once they started pushing, they had to start pushing it to go into the next zone. So Falcons, it will be Kinotrope who have potential to have a tremendous game, which, again, would be very valuable. They're knocking on the door of passing up the previous year champs of Alpha 7. Top 8 is a possibility. They need a lot of points to get there, but finishing the final game of day number 1 of survival stage is so impactful for Kinotrope. They have a chance to do it.
This is also a big chance for Regnum Karya to put themselves back in and amongst the top dogs of this lobby, making sure that they can end over 40 points would be fantastic. Still quite a long way to go for them. They'd need a 26-point match to be able to get up towards that 60-point mark. It's doable. There's still plenty of points left going. We'll see what they can find here on the northern side. They've got a solid spot.
Fireflux so spread down to the south, along with Mapcap and Catch are going to be the closest together, but even them are quite separated. And Scarface is feeling the pressure as Loxy takes him down. John, do you think that spread is a bit too much from Fireflux's perspective?
I think that you could definitely argue that. Yes, I think it's fair enough to say that it was way too bold for Fireflux there to keep that one going. Perhaps they didn't have the rotational capacity. Perhaps they'd run out of vehicles. Not entirely too sure. But it looks like they're going to try and reestablish this split. I mean, there's no one really challenging them here. At this point, everyone's pushing in south or north or west. So they are trying to just cover this ground. But I think leaving someone on the far side of the on the far side of the road may be a bridge too far.
Yeah, it's a bit weird for me. Granted, gaining insight, maybe scouting the horizons, but your scouts get taken down, and now it's time to get back together. So maybe they were trying to speed it, but we're still, his chances are gone, and well, that's going to be the end of Red Force. They get taken out, and their final game of the day is over with. Now, for Ora Esports, though, all eyes on them. 4 strong, dead end of the zone. They can make a deep run.
Yeah, with the hills that they have to play around here, they can definitely get quite close to the center. We're going to be in about 5 seconds as well, so it's going to dictate the pace. Vision, it's Kinotrope, who now find themselves in a little bit. They could descend on this one. They should be at the very least. There's only one player close by to try and handle this one. Ozzy-san at a distance. I don't think he's going to be able to say anything about this. I don't think he has a chance to chime in if Vision just pour over the top.
Yeah, Plur, I mean, maybe, just maybe he can make something happen. He throws the nade, but it's a bit too short. Plur is going to be the last-ditch effort for Kinotrope. try to be the hero to shut down Team Vision, but I don't know if he's going to have what it takes in order to do so. But he does get the off angle, but the shots are going to be missed. He's going to be snipped out and taken down. And Team Vision, who was opposite the Kinetro for the longest time, puts the almost a five. I don't know, in the compliment I should say. Ozizon is gone, and now it's survival mode for him.
Where has this Team Vision been up until now, right? These guys, off that last Miramar, they got a healthy Elim, a chance to push towards like quite flat terrain as well. Hard. They started this Miramar set really down on their luck, but they have started to pull their socks up.
Son goes into a hot and ready. A little boy as well as Influence Rage doesn't have the help needed. Influence Rage start to encompass where Ozizon is currently at. Some four Kinetro are gone from a very dominant, strong position. Pressure was on for Kinetro. They get 3 eliminations. I'm thinking they're going to have a deep run, maybe even surpass the performance of, but they fall short as Team Vision take them down in conjunction with them.
I'm looking at Vision right now. I think they having the compound in the southwest quadrant. It's not necessarily going to be ending up there, so it could potentially be an advantage.
Would be Regnum Karya disengaging from the arena earlier, right? You talked about it, you said that's a favorable play. I think maybe there's going to be another contest for the hardcover POI, but no. Regnum Karya being where they are, I actually favor them. I think they're in a wonderful spot. E-Arena now starts to inch their way closer. Everybody knowing this compound is going to be so impactful for the future stages, and everybody wants a piece of it.
The difficulty for E-Arena here is that the positions that they hold sideshot from Team Vision's perspective, there's just this open wasteland of nothing. Now, to make their way north would be really, really tricky. It would be a better use of their time to play around where Mormon is playing, right? Like that east side compound, trying to stretch a little bit to the edge of the hill, and potentially take a couple of shots towards his remaining players.
Karya going to be quite helpful for V Arena. You go north, you got Regnum Karya, who's going to be looking.
6 teams now remain with 21 players alive. And it looks like Marcelo's going to get a little bit closer now to Regnum Karya. Draw some shots out the arena.
Have no choice. Vision, they've got the man advantage, but they've got to break into the cover. It's not going to be easy, but it's their only go at it. They focus on the Loxy first. Right. Loxy, though, does a good job taking down a couple. In fact, he's going to get the full finish onto a low. It's the last dance for Team Vision to make anything happen in the final game of day number 1 of the survival stage. Will end in a wonderful hold, but here comes the third party, E-Arena. They're out for blood, and they want to finish off Regnum Karya.
They've heard this fight popping off. The only team that was holding them moving north, Karya don't have time to heal because they've got more players descending upon them. Tony K, nade in hand, Wild desperately popping that first aid. The Molotov on high keeps Loxy back off the window, and Tony K plays forwards, and he opens the door, potentially to his demise, but Silas not going to go down just yet. Up, trying to challenge on the high ground and might be able to do it, but Fireflux are moving in. Influence Rage, Otter as well, trying to find their way through and closer to this fight.
Tremendous fight. A big 4-man units who can push straight into Regnum Karya, but Silas wants to the whole day. He knows if anyone playing spoiler, and you got to respect Catch in that moment. We knew he was in a power spot, watching Regnum Karya start to rotate over after they win two dominating fights, but at the end of the day, it was Catch overlooking his competition and knowing he had what it takes in order to take over the victory. Fireflux, a tremendous win, and a night and day difference from their group performance to where they currently stand, just behind Power Esports.
What that one?
Fireflies.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Falcons. I want to see what they're going to be doing tomorrow if they can finally get the win. We saw them do really smart rotations.
Yep.
We saw them actually be playing the way that Coach Peko has been saying the whole time, the way that they play. Having seems to be a little bit scared of them having them giving them that freedom to actually do those rotations. They got away with some today, but we need to see a win out of them.
And looking back at that Erangel, they had an and then they got very passive against Alpha 7 instead of committing for a breach. If you're going to be aggressive the entire way. I think that is the way Falcons can make in the top 8. As on the second page, a lot of teams that we just do not want to see here. And again, Alpha 7 are still on that page.
Yeah, okay, this is the danger zone. I think my thoughts here, Neptura, these teams need to have a massive day tomorrow because they had a pretty rough group stage for the most part, and now they have only 6 games remaining and only 12 points at the top for them.
I'm surprised AX Team G did not have as good of a day as we saw in day 1 of the group stage. I'm really surprised Intense Game is there because I was really shouting their praises the last day of the group stage.
Yeah.
I really liked how they were playing. They were playing very split, but very controlled. They were doing some good things synergy-wise. They weren't going off on their own too much and all of that. It just wasn't able to actually, number 1, turn that into points, and number 2, actually come back from their day 1 performance. So to see that happen all over again is a bit disappointing.
Not just points, placement points. They have 0 placement points in the rankings. Then you get eliminations. That means they're not getting anywhere near the later stages of the match. So we need to see more from Intense Game that did so well going into Americas. I expected more, and just nothing has been delivered so far here for PMWC.
Usually the excuse for those teams would be like, okay, maybe it is their first global event, but that group is just set up a full veterans, Brazilian veterans that have been around the league for a very long time. Going back to AXTMG, one thing that I would tell this team to start fixing up is back up and actually focus on later into the game. That's what that team needs to do. Because if not, they're not going to be qualifying at all to grand finals.
No, it's going to be tough. Really is. And as you can see just before there, it was, of course, Fireflux wall to wall, starting off the day with a win and finishing off the day with a win as well. Let's take a look at the Gadir top plays of the day. As I suspect there may be some Fireflux here throughout this Neptura, but we do start off with good old Power Esports.
Power have popped off today. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh, the vibes.
The vibes were very good. For them, yeah. They were rizzing up the rest of the lobby. The vibes were very good. I agree.
Yeah, guys, plus 10,000 aura.
Absolute cinema.
Am I right? Shut up.
What do you think, chat?
I'm going to go sit with you next on that little couch.
Yeah, you can sit on the old man chair over here.
The over 30 gang over there.
Yeah.
Come along.
He's
yeah.
joining up.
This is the host's
We got
chair.
top plays. I'm
Double
going to go talk about the top plays that we had.
Yeah.
A lot of field finishes on the Wrangle, actually, in particular around this area, and a lot of big crashes. Influence Rage were one of those few teams who just sent it on the buildings. And Yangon also getting a great finish on the Wrangle against the side of Regnum Karya.
I mean, I loved how that entire last end of this game went. I mean, this is the nades. Every single nade is a highlight to me, so I'm glad we see it in the top plays here.
Yeah. When we look at the top players here, 7, which team do you think was mewing the best? What are you? No, you don't want that?
You got me. No, you got me.
I'm trying to be cool. Hello.
Hey, we look good.
Hello. We actually coordinated really well in our costumes today.
We meant to do this. This is how we wanted to start the show. We just didn't have enough time.
Yeah. Didn't work out.
Who's Kalaris?
Yeah, right.
We look a little bit different. We look slightly different.
Slightly. Same, but no same.
Well, that was fun. All right, let's take a look at something far more important than me and Seven. It's the Sony hero of the day as well.
Ooh.
What are you guessing? Are you taking a guess? All right, we're doing some predictions to get this going. They seemed very keen. So, Max Man, do something.
I had Koa.
Koa?
Pick, yeah.
It's a pretty decent pick. However, they did fall off a little bit throughout the day. So
yes, yeah, true. It was
true.
unfortunate.
So I'm shutting you down straight away.
Alhaji.
So,
Ragnar.
oh, you said Alhaji?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well you skipped the queue. So
Yeah, shush.
You're
Ragnar.
eliminated.
Yeah.
Ragnar.
Okay, Ragnar. Okay, sorry.
Ragnar.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I abstained from this vote.
He's doing a 7, man.
That's the best part of
All right, let's find out who is going to be our Sony. Oh, wait. Daily winner, MVP,
What?
Scarface. Okay,
You know
to
what?
be fair,
Fair.
to be fair, even like after the second game or something like that, I think he had 9 limbs already. Never mind anything else that was coming in here, Max.
Actually, wait. Does he have to be from the from the top team of the day?
Not necessarily.
Why are you asking these questions, Max?
Existential crisis.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly, yeah. You're having a problem now.
14 eliminations on the day. Scarface, when you look at Fireflux, you're looking at Solus, you're looking at Ketch, right?
Yep.
Sanok actually very controlling against the duo here from Falcons, able to claim that chicken dinner. So Scarface making a name for himself here out of the Turkish players.
Scarface and Fireflux kind of set the pace, right? Throughout since the beginning at Sandhawk, they kind of just followed that same gameplay, being able to just be passive and strike when they needed to, let the other teams fight too. Honestly, I think if they would have played a little bit different on that Erangel when they ended up getting third party, when they were just so focused on Kinotrope and Alpha 7, then we might have had a team that ended up with 3 wins.
Any final thoughts on that, Namatura?
I think he's right.
Well,
I know I say that a lot, but these guys know what they're talking about. But no, I do agree. I think Regnum could have played a couple of those games. Fireflux could have played those just a little bit better. There's a couple of games where it's like, oh, maybe not that. Maybe that wasn't the play. But stop laughing at me. But I do think that, yeah, we've seen a very strong performance and not one we necessarily expected from them. Seeing the group stage, how they performed there, it was a very different team. So to have them be at the top of the leaderboards day one with actually a really good performance under their belt is really nice to see.
Yeah, Seven's laughing. I mean,
they were not existing in group stage.
Yeah, they weren't.
They were in group stage.
Who?
It was tough. It was tough. All right, let's move on then as well and see who's able to take our honor domination here for this one. And it will, of course, have the tripler limbs. And this is understandable why Scarface may take that #1 spot. But he was also followed up by Ketch as well here, Max. So again, it was really Fireflux wall to wall.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Solus to be showing up next, maybe tomorrow. But then there's been 2 players of Fireflux. Alhaji from Power. If you're going to play from Power, it is going to be Alhaji, followed up by Nerf from Hoda and Koat 77 from the side of Falcons. That also is a very steady player here going into it.
I'm happy to see no fear there from Horror Esports.
Yeah,
Remember, Sleepy during groups stages, he was the one that was able to get an MVP. It's good to see here going into tomorrow.
This guy is like the MVP contender. They actually step up ever since PMSL CSA.
We did see him fight a little bit earlier on. Maybe it could have been that they adjusted their playing style. We've seen teams being able to do that in the past too, from group stages to now. I think that might be the case. We'll just have to verify with Sky.
Maybe. All right. Well, that is our teams obviously performing extremely well here for our survival stage to get things rolling. I mean, hopefully we see the fight back from some of the bigger names like Alpha. I think that really is be rough to lose our current defending title holders here in Riyadh at PMWC. If I'm looking at Seven, he looks very sad.
Bad for him,
but losing them would be a bit devastating in the survival stage.
It really would. I think we would lose something as well, though, because they've been a part of every global final for so long. They're always part of the conversation all the time.
Yeah,
we would lose something by having them not be there for one of those events, for one of the finals, and so it would be weird, I think, and maybe even weird to a lot of the teams. You know, having to try and adjust to having this powerhouse, this aggressive team who splits all over the place and does what they want, basically.
It'll be difficult. Max, you were unboxing whilst all of this was going on. Did you get anything?
I got some vouchers. I got the James Yang T-shirt.
The James Yang T-shirt.
Only for 30 days though. Not.
You mean the winner chicken dinner one?
Yeah, it's very. Cool. I want that. James Yang, please. Would like to get it, and also a cool dance, a group dance, which are new. We can be dancing in the lobby.
We can test it out tonight.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about it, of course, because you guys at home can get involved as well with the PUBG Mobile Airdrop Carnival, because it's now live here this weekend from August the 1st to the 3rd. Log in and summon surprise airdrops and collect the 2025 airdrop vouchers to enterprise draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner awards, permanent in-games items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, jump in the game right now to vote for your favorite airdrop partner. Don't vote, Max. You might even score some awesome surprise gifts from them. Don't miss this year's airdrop carnival, and you could unlock some surprises, Neptura. That's pretty awesome.
I would love a surprise.
Yeah,
I always like surprises. Yes,
fantastic.
please. I'm going to do that after show. I'm going to go in right now.
We need to prepare a surprise for Neptura for tomorrow. What do you think, Max?
Uh-oh.
No, I have to find the idea.
It's got nothing to do with dropping chocolate cake on people. Don't worry.
We don't talk about that.
I don't like surprises now.
You dropped chocolate cake on Veracity.
Do not ask Veracity. It did not happen. Okay. There is no. Is that video? No, there is video.
There is video proof.
Oh,
there is video proof.
It's coming to an Instagram near you very soon.
We'll yeah.
All right.
I do like cake a lot, though.
He loves cake. It's his favorite thing. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. We've had too much fun here throughout the day. We are done here at the desk. I believe we can head on down towards the stage now as well and check in with good old Barney. Thank you very much, World's Gaming. Thank you very much, Neptura. Thank you very much, Maxman. I would get all your thoughts, but it would take about 10 minutes before we actually finish this up. There's so much to talk about from the survival stage. I have been Clarissa, your desk host here for day number 1 of the survival stage. We can now head down to the stage with good old Barney to wrap up day number 1.
Fireflux had an impressive day today, and so of course I'm chatting here with Scarface. What a brilliant day. You opened it up with a chicken dinner as well, which was great to see. I kind of want to know how that motivated you guys going forward. Did that impact your strategies for the rest